Oh, what a game to watch. Vegas comes up big. Their goalie comes up big. I thought the Canucks started off pretty strong, especially Pettersson. You can tell that the Knights are really respecting him. He was flying around. The Knights went for a big hit on him. He dodges. This caused a tripping penalty. The Canucks had a lot of power play chances. It seems like the refs were calling a lot of penalties in this game. I think they were worried that this was going to get a little bit out of hand. It was getting a bit chippy. It was getting physical. And the amount of penalties they were calling were just a way to calm that down. Like the second 10-minute misconduct on Roussel for a very weak play. Leonard had some huge saves. The Canucks were buzzing. Played really well in their first period, but they just could not solve Leonard. On the lines side of things, I was really disappointed that Besser had so much time on that top line. We've seen him throughout the St. Louis and now this Vegas series that Besser is just not offering what Besser fans think he's capable of offering. He blew two important passes and then he gave up with a bad giveaway, an odd man rush to end a power play. He's not in a rhythm. I started watching the Canucks again after taking a bit of a break when I was traveling the world on cruise ships. I started watching again when Pettersson had his rookie season. So I never really saw firsthand the Besser rookie season, which, judging from how people talk about him on like the Reddit Canucks group and Canucks fans I see on the internet, it seems like that season was so important and so impressive that people are still thinking he has that in him, you just need to give him a chance. But from what I've seen in the last 2 years, and especially in this playoffs, while I don't fault his effort, he's hustling around, I don't think he's a very good puck mover overall, and especially in this series, he's really struggled with it. In this game, pucks are just exploding off of his stick in the worst kind of way. Bad giveaways, he's really dragging his line down in the offensive zone. There was a Canuck writer who just posted on Twitter or Reddit saying that Besser had some of the best advanced stats. And I think that's where the advanced stats, while I'm a fan of looking at them and using them as a reference, I think that the eye test can be more important than the advanced stats in cases like this, where the most important plays are the ones that really matter. And I think that's where Besser was really lacking. The three times, I guess, in that first period where he's blowing passes and giving up an odd man rush, that is when the Canucks really needed to capitalize, when they had a chance to be dangerous in the offensive zone and he blew it. So yeah, maybe he ended up padding his advanced stats throughout the game, but when you really needed it, he was a detriment. I would love to see Virtanen or Mott in that top six role. You've also got Pearson on that right side. I think that Besser should be down probably on the third line. I really think that Sutter should be in the fourth line. What I'd love to see for lines is Roussel on the fourth, Beagle on the fourth, and Sutter on the fourth. I think that Virtanen and Mott deserve to be third line or higher. Pearson and Toffoli, third line or higher. The rest, it's like very clear to me that, Sutter, I love how he plays. I love how he controls the ice. He always makes smart plays, but he's just not going to score. He did have some explosive games points-wise, but that's just sort of like an opportunistic, that was a circumstantial time. I love it, and you need your role players to step up, but you can't count on Sutter to be bringing that every game. It's nice when it happens, but he should just be on a full-on defensive role with Beagle and Roussel, because Roussel is really not offering a lot of offense either. Virtanen, on the other hand, he's actually really surprised me with what seems like a kind of improved sense with the puck and where to go and where to be dangerous. When the Canucks really need to get the puck up ice, out of their zone, through the neutral zone, gain the zone, Virtanen has shown, from what I've seen in this series and the last, a pretty good ability to do that. He's one of their better puck movers. He has a good shot. He's got a pretty decent pass. He has these elite skills. Just the knock against him has always been putting it together and doing it consistently. But until he proves you otherwise, I think you can try Virtanen in the top six, like Travis Green eventually did later on in the game, but I think it was too late for him to make a real difference. But definitely have Virtanen on that third line with Gaudette. Virtanen is not really great defensively, so you've got him on a fourth line with Beagle. Beagle's not that great offensively. Now you got Gaudette and Sutter. It just seems like a mismatch to me, unless you're trying to provide one scoring option on every line and trying to roll your four lines. I could see that strategy, but I just think embrace what you have with Beagle and Sutter. Keep Roussel down there. Keep Gaudette, Virtanen, and Mott on at least a third line, and try to capitalize on the offensive strengths of the players that you do have. And to end that first period, the Canucks were under huge pressure, and it was because Besser blew another chance to clear the defensive zone. He was just having a rough game and a rough series, and you're giving him just too much pressure, too much time and responsibility for the way that he's been playing. Vegas had got up 2-0. Canucks had a big power play, few power play opportunities. Vegas's PK was fantastic. They do a really good job of preventing any cross-ice passes from the left side over to Pettersson for that one-timer. They really limit it to Hughes passing over to Pettersson's one-timer, and we have not seen that go in. There's just not enough movement on the goalie side, and they know it's coming. It's way too predictable, and you're not giving Pettersson enough empty net to shoot at. They need to find a new way to keep shifting that power play around. Vegas has been really good. I'm really impressed with. They know exactly where to move, and I think that you can kind of predict where it's going to go a lot of the time. But there were some of those open looks that you were trying to get the puck out to Horvat in the slot for some one-timers, and Leonard was shutting those down. I thought Mott was amazing. There was one play where he was all over the ice with 3 huge plays: offensive, defensive, neutral zone, spring and breakaways. He's just swinging things all over the ice, and he's definitely one of my new favorite players on the team through these playoffs. Edler is a player that I've criticized because I think that Green loads him up with just too much time and responsibility for what he can do. I think in the right role, he can be a nice calming presence, second pairing at most. But he had a pretty good game today. I thought he made a lot of good decisions, helped get the puck out, played smart defensively. Good job, Edler. For the third period, the Canucks get to start with a power play, and they take a too many men on the ice penalty. Just the most back-breaking penalty, especially when you're down 2, you got a whole period. You have a power play, and you take a penalty you did not need to take. This isn't like hooking or tripping a player to stop them from getting on a breakaway or something, or to stop a deadly scoring chance. This is you on the power play and just getting discombobulated, and it's a real mental killer. And to have Vegas score on that following power play is just the ultimate backbreaker. And then for Roussel to get a weak misconduct after that, you knew the Canucks were probably going to lose this at this point. There was a feeling that the Canucks were still in it. They still had a mental edge to believe that they could get back into it. The Canucks are pressuring the Reeves line. That's what you want to see. Reeves can be effective when he's hitting or when he's intimidating people, but when he's hemmed in his defensive zone, Horvat's out front, the Canucks were buzzing around. Horvat had a great chance, but he didn't get everything on that shot, and there was a look on Horvat's face of, I blew our best chance to get into it. Now we're down 3-0. Roussel's in the box. Game over. And that was it. Canucks got down early and couldn't crack Leonard. We saw Kelly Rudy in the intermission talking about how he thought that Leonard was the star of the game, and if he wasn't making these unbelievable saves, that the Canucks could have at least tied it or had 3 or 4 goals. Maybe. I thought Leonard had a pretty good game. I thought Vegas played great too, and the Canucks had their moments. It was a pretty tight game with just 2 quick goals, and then the Canucks shooting themselves in the foot with the too many men in the ice, and Roussel taking that misconduct. Now, it was a pretty weak misconduct, but the thing with Roussel is that he makes himself a target. He's yappy, but he's not very imposing, so I think that he just kind of becomes this annoying, barking chihuahua to the refs. They look at this guy and they go, all right, you're not actually going to do anything about it. We know what you're doing, and you're not being professional, and the easiest thing for us to do is to just put you in the box. And that's what they did. I still have faith in the Canucks, though. I think that they can come back. I'd really like to see Besser start on the 3rd line. I'd like to see Sutter down on the 4th line. I'd like to see Virtanen get another chance. I'd like to see Mott at least on the 3rd line. Roll those lines. Try to get some scoring chances and momentum. Have the Canucks play smart. I'm sure we won't see another too many men on the ice penalty. Hopefully we won't see Roussel on any more 10-minute misconducts or other Canucks just taking these lazy penalties. See the Canucks come out hard tonight, and I think they got a good chance to win this one. And if they don't, then it's probably series over. Thanks for watching these videos and leaving comments. Like Derpy Waffle left a comment saying, Why not try Mott on Bo's line? I feel like he has so much more to give. Adjust the power play to have Pettersson in a playmaking role, reducing our best playmaker to just a sniper really brings us down. I love this point. I could see Mott on Bo's line. I could see him on Pettersson's line. But with Bo, that could be a really nice forecheck. With Pettersson, I think that he would be another distraction, as Vegas is already terrified of Pettersson. I think I like Toffoli and Pearson with Pettersson, though, because they seem to have the hands of it. Pearson seemed to struggle this game. Maybe put Besser back down with Pettersson. I mean, Pettersson is drawing all the interest from the Knights. So just somebody that can stand there like Toffoli did with that incredible cross-ice pass Pettersson had. You know, I watched that again, and somebody pointed out in a video that Pettersson used like his knee. I think it was on Canucks Reddit. Pettersson used like his body and his knee to slingshot that puck through the crease. That's how he got it through so fast. He skated past it, lifted his knee up, grabbed out of the netting, and it gave him this kind of like in a sci-fi movie when they use the like a planet's orbit and the gravitational pull to slingshot around the sun or something. Amazing. Or how about this comment from Feedback for You Today? It's true. Mott, Miller, Pearson have been amazing and positive attitudes leaders and new guys developing. Sutter Beagle, few errors, but great character. So Ferland didn't work out, but he did seem worth a try. Would have been huge. Have to move Ruttanen, as not meeting that role. Myers helps a lot, and Toffoli could help a lot. Levo is great. I would like to see Levo. You know, I think Levo is one of those guys that is going to give you decent production in the bottom six, who can fill in the top six when needed for injuries, and he's not going to cost a lot, and he's going to be good defensively, because that's what it's all about. Is you have to find these guys that are going to fill those roles at the right price, and somebody like Besser, who's not providing that top six production at a top six price, is a problem. Somebody like Sutter, Roussel, Beagle, that are costing a lot for the role you have them in, that's a problem. And Levo is a nice addition, and I'd like to see him come back. We'll see. He had, like a sprained kneecap? That sounds really painful. We'll see if he can come back with that, hopefully. I feel like Levo just one of those guys that is probably never going to get the money he probably deserves, and it's going to end up being a good bargain, hopefully for the Canucks. Myers could help a lot too. It'd be nice to get his leadership and his puck moving. Just help him get the puck out of the zone. If he can come back in this series, would be fantastic. As we've seen with Toffoli, he's just another great veteran leadership presence, and that's what this Canucks team has. They've got Benning's done a really good job of insulating his young core of Pettersson and Hughes with smart guys that know how to win, that really want to win. So thanks to those that left comments. If you leave a comment, I'll read it on the next video. You know how YouTube works. If you like it, or subscribe, or share the video, it helps it get seen by other people, and makes it more interesting for me to keep making videos. If you want to share it to your friends, and I'm sure you got friends who like hockey, or even on the Reddit Canucks group, it'd be much appreciated. Have a good one. Bye for now.